Hello, my impatience. I am live and ready to perform for you. So, did they did they gaslight me about HIV in 2019, and did they have premeditated intentions to get me to take HIV prep? Was that premeditated? If so, can they take accountability for it? Did they do that to me? I mean, at this point, just tell me the truth. Did they pharmacologically abuse me with premeditated intentions? Can somebody tell me the truth? Did they pharmacologically abuse me with premeditated intentions? Did they do that to me, Rusty? Did they pharmacologically abuse me? Did they have nefarious premeditated intent? So, I'm like, is anybody telling me the truth? Is anyone being honest and transparent with me? There are definitely hidden realities and secrets when it comes to my family. It's torture trying to get them to confess. I know my parents are lying and gaslighting me. Just take accountability and tell me the truth. Hell, they won't even take accountability for the things I have firsthand experience of and know, like the running and mega regimen of psychiatric medications. They just deny reality. The problem is, I think the hidden realities are so bad. Hell, surface level and face value is so bad. And they are cowards who are afraid to take accountability for what they've done in secret. But apparently, there are no hidden realities. There are no secrets. Toggle the emotional switch to off. Is it revenge for the intergender wrestling? Is that why my mother and stepfather, gave me the HIV accident? Is that why they did that to me? I mean, if that is the reason, take accountability and tell me. Like, can people just tell me the truth? Or is it really like Bobby Fischer, like Pawn Sacrifice, the chess master, and I just sound like a fucking rambling madman? Do I sound like a delusional, mentally ill madman, and none of this makes sense? Like what's the reality? I don't know. Whatever. I just want the truth. I want them to take accountability, but apparently they are. Apparently there's nothing to confess to. So just calm down and flip the switch. Rusty says the square root of HIV is 26.77. Well, what's on my mind is, did they have premeditated intentions to gaslight me into HIV and into having an HIV accident? Did they do that to me? Did they have nefarious and premeditated intentions? Did they have premeditated intentions to pharmacologically abuse me and get me to take HIV prep? That's what I'm wondering about. No, I don't have HIV, but it traumatized me. And if I was betrayed by my parents, family, and friends, well, that would make me angry. It traumatized me. I couldn't even walk down the block without checking behind myself a million times. I couldn't even walk throughout the house without checking around me for hypodermic. It traumatized me. I don't have HIV, but if my parents did that to me, I will be steaming fucking angry. If they got me to take HIV PrEP, I will be so fucking angry. If they had premeditated intentions to do that to me, I'll be so fucking angry. And I want the truth. Major Vindy says, I want the truth calmly. Yeah, I took HIV PrEP pills. I mean, the evidence is it was my choice to take HIV PrEP. I stepped on debris that supposedly nobody placed. Yet PrEP is preventative. It's anti-HIV. PrEP does not infect you with HIV. It prevents you from contracting HIV. But I think my parents did that to me, um, you know, as like a receipt or like for revenge. I know PrEP doesn't actually infect you with HIV, but it was traumatizing to me. I couldn't even walk down the block without checking behind myself a million times for hypodermic needles. The betrayal by people that I thought genuinely loved me. If they did that to me, it's just. But apparently they didn't. Apparently there are no secrets. But if there are secrets, take accountability. If they had premeditated nefarious intentions, take accountability. Let's just change the topic. Let's just change the topic. But I want the truth. I want the truth. I just want the fucking truth. But people say you're like Bobby Fischer in Pawn Sacrifice, the Tobey Maguire movie with the fucking lunatic that's screaming and shouting and doesn't make any sense and just sounds like he's having a fucking mental breakdown. Bobby Fischer, the chess master. Rusty says the numbers don't lie, and I think they spelled disaster for you. Yeah, man. So I've asked my mom directly, and she said she did not, gaslight me or have premeditated intentions to give me an HIV scare or to get me to take PrEP. My father said the same thing. My stepfather has never really commented, and my psychiatrist, Dr. Garrett said, the evidence is you chose to take HIV PrEP. You stepped on something and you chose to take HIV PrEP. Nobody had nefarious intentions. I don't know. We've beaten. This is like all I talked about in 2024 and 2023. It's just I'm just going to tell myself my parents did not do it. I mean, but if they did, I want the truth. But apparently they didn't. So I realize I'm having an episode right now. Yeah, I mean, obviously, taking HIV PrEP made me feel metaphorically HIV positive. I felt like I was tainted, defective, and damaged. I felt metaphorically HIV positive. You know, 666 says, taking PrEP after contact doesn't work, right? Well, I took it, and I don't have HIV, but it's really the betrayal from my parents, family, friends, if they did it to me. And I want the truth. I want accountability. I mean, did they do it to me? Let's boil it down here. Maybe I made the right decision. Somebody says you were irrationally afraid of HIV in 2019 and even prior. You were irrationally afraid of HIV. It was like probably one of your worst fears. And, you know, then you stepped on something and it went through your shoe and pushed into your foot. It was probably just some nonsense debris. I got a tetanus shot also, in January 2020, but also I took HIV PrEP, and was that an overreaction? Yes. I don't know. Somebody says, so your stepfather was conspiring and waiting at the club with an HIV laced sharp for you to step on. Somebody says the real problem is you can't trust your mother, father, or stepfather for whatever reason. You just don't believe them. You just don't trust them. You just have a hard time believing anything they say is true. You think they're lying to you and gaslighting you about everything. That's the problem. The problem is I just don't believe my parents. I think they're lying to me about everything. Somebody says, when did this mistrust start? I don't think I ever really believed my father. I think my father I've always thought was lying to me about like literally everything. So I feel betrayed by everyone. I feel like everybody's lying to me. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to turn to. I'm like, is anybody telling me the truth? Is anybody being honest with me? But apparently they are. Somebody says you it's not just your parents. You did the same thing with ex-girlfriends too. Somebody says you had no reason to mistrust your ex-girlfriends. It's just your illness. Basically, trust people. They are honest. Dr. Garrett was honest. Dr. Coplin was honest. It's psychosis. Nobody is lying to you. Nobody is gaslighting you. The thing is, you just don't trust people. You don't believe people. You think everybody is two-faced. I want somebody who's honest, transparent, who I can trust. And that's basically what it is. I don't trust anybody. I don't believe anybody. I think everybody's fucking lying to me. And that's basically it, I just don't know who to believe. Somebody says, what is there to gain from lying to you? Well, I mean, aside from the HIV scare, I suspect my father has other families. I mean, apparently that's not so. Apparently, I don't have a half sibling or half siblings, but I suspect he's keeping secret like lots of hidden realities, like girlfriends and half family, half siblings of mine, and I don't know. It's just a suspicion. So there's that. There's the half sibling suspicion that I have. I suspect I have maybe a half sister or a half brother, and my father started another family after the divorce. Vegan Dolls says, I think there's a biological reason why you're like this. No amount of reason or logic will make you feel any different. So, assuming Robert Kolosky is my biological father, which the evidence is he is, I suspect he's lying to me and started another family after my parents got divorced in 1999. I don't know. Maybe I have a college age half sister. It's a suspicion. Maybe I have a sister who's in her early 20s, or a brother who's in his early 20s. Certainly a suspicion. But my father says no, he only has two children, me and my brother Steven. And that's it. I don't have any half siblings. So basically, just accept things that I see at face value. Accept things that are corroborated by others. Stop daydreaming and imagining that I'm being lied to. Because apparently I'm not being lied to. Apparently everybody's being honest with me. Rusty says, what if Robert Kolosky, was the father of Owen Hart, and he worked with Vince McMahon to kill Owen Hart so you wouldn't find out? Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess when you speak of it like that, it sounds like a big conspiracy. So he says your parents are telling you the truth. You have no half siblings. You only have one brother, Stephen Kolosky, and everything is face value. It's all as it appears to be. My brother lives on Long Island, not too far from me. So stop daydreaming. Stop coming to feelings of conviction about my daydreams, and accept things as they are. Accept things that people tell me. This is change what you can. Change what you can. Accept what you cannot. So the truth is, this is really all delusions. The truth is, this is really all psychosis. Major Vindy says, I think some of it is, but I think the root of your problems is very real and valid. 666 says, yeah, pretty much it's delusions and psychosis. Yeah. All right, guys. So he says, just try to trust your parents. Try to think they aren't nefarious monsters behind their masks who are deceiving you. Try to think they aren't these sadistic deceivers. Try to accept they're being honest with you. and try to believe them, try to believe they're being honest. Try to trust my parents. Try to realize they're not covering up anything. There are no secrets. There are no hidden realities. All right, I'm going to make myself a peanut butter sandwich here. The hidden realities. Yeah, my mother didn't get jelly from the supermarket, so. Somebody says, I would imagine your parents are pretty worried about what's going to happen to you when they're gone. Yeah, probably. A spoonful of a spoonful of peanut butter on my sandwich. I missed the sink. And the bread fell in the sink. Somebody says, your parents' options are pretty slim. So he says, all the moments leading up to my father's death can be quite stressful. So the hidden... All right. So it's a bit of a downer that this took, but it's true. I'm getting ready to go to the art class. So, he says, low-key Andrew single-handedly brings on the CCP. on. Go down. Go down. The puke sounds nice. All right. So thanks for watching, guys. So he says, do you know that bulimics don't eat peanut butter? How come 666? How come bulimics don't eat peanut butter? How come bulimics don't eat peanut butter? So he says, because it gets stuck on your throat on the way back up. Fair point, fair point. All right, guys. I guess I'll get going. Like Gary Burr says, love is out there, but you got to go get it. You know, it's not going to come to you. And try to trust my parents. Try to think they're being honest and transparent with me. Try to believe everyone. It's hard for me to do. It's hard for me to believe people, but 666 says, read a book or do something. Have a good day. All right, see you later, guys. Peace out.